Hey guys, it's me, Spidey.
And I'm Kisame Unlimited.
And I'm going to do a top 10 best spell cards in this format because I did the top 10 best trap cards in this format. And it seems to be doing fairly well because people, they
responded very...
Yeah, because, since I won the big duel, people, they come to me. I'm the voice of, what's good and what's bad nowadays. I've run this shit. I'm sorry. You've had your time. Your time has passed.
And I can't wait to, knock you back into submission and, pummel your ass with Gradles and fucking Burning Abyss and the new Monarch support. And I'm like, yeah!
I hope it's TCG by the time we do.
Oh, fuck that.
This ain't about the OCG. This is about the best spell cards in the TCG for this format because the format's ending and you want to know what the best spell cards are. I'm going to tell it to you right now. Like the video because, come on, man. Come on, man. Like the video. Sometimes we give away free packs when we announce at the end of the video, so you might want to stay tuned for that type of shit. But other than that, let's get the countdown started. Pot of Duality.
Okay.
I know you like Pot of Duality.
I do.
Pot of Duality, me and this man has gone back. That was his card of coming into the metagame of you gotta run Pot of Duality. You gotta run Pot of Duality. And honestly, I don't really like Pot of Duality because I'm just yeah, you get to add a card, but you can't special summon, and I feel like you need to special summon a lot in today's game, but sometimes you need that spell and trap card support, so just getting that option of looking at the 3 cards and getting that card. And everybody who runs Pot of Duality, how many would you run in a deck?
I would run 2.
Exactly. Nobody runs just 1.
But what is your reasoning behind why do you think it's one of the best cards in this format?
Because people play a lot of trap cards, and when you need your trap cards, you need Pot of Duality to search and use it to get those trap cards a little bit faster. Okay. Because if you already have your field set up, you don't need to special summon anymore. You can just need your trap cards for protection. So I feel and then when I see it in decks, people would always play more than 1. It's not a card that I personally like, but it's there. I notice it. It gets its recognition, but that's my number 10.
Okay, that's fine.
Foolish Burial.
Okay.
You have to say something.
Why do you have Foolish? What's your
end game, fam?
I don't want to start, jumping to conclusions. I want you to show me as a viewer why and explain to me why Foolish Burial is one of the best spell cards of the game.
The worst thing
is this format. I mean, I'm sorry.
It's funny because then they're gonna comment, "Wow, he needs to hear an explanation. I thought he was a pro. This guy sucks." It's I won't find any man. Look at that shirt he's wearing. He sucks. Look at that haircut. He sucks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Man, he didn't shave today.
I like not shaving. I like the scrub. And I like tap outs. Back to the original argument. Whoa.
Foolish Burial, I feel is a good card in today's format because the graveyard is so important in today's game.
Well, in this video, it's based off this format. So what decks are really abusing Foolish to have that?
Well, a lot of decks rely heavily on the graveyard between...
Well, what are you putting in the graveyard that's so
That's what I'm saying. But in Burning Abyss, you need the graveyard as heavy support. That's how you get all that searching power going off.
Like
you need it. Yeah, you're saying you need it in your Tellarknights because Tellarknights is how you get all their plays popping off from the graveyard. How you get all those special summons. You need it in Necros because sometimes that's how you help yourself recycle, just so you can banish it to get those cards right back from your deck. That's how a lot of cards work nowadays. So that's how Foolish Burial comes in handy sometimes. So I'm noticing it. Not really called I personally see his name, but I feel like nowadays people thin in their deck, and I'm just I don't see the point in it. I get it sometimes, but I'm wouldn't you rather draw that card than mill it? But milling is almost the same thing. If you're not drawing, you're milling because you got to thin out your deck to get to the best cards as soon as possible. And sometimes getting the card in the graveyard is exactly where you need it. This card actually. Mass Change 2 is my number 8. That is a card that I'm personally throwing in the game that I feel people may not look at it as a thing, extra deck space is so tight in the game and everything. Yeah. But I feel Mass Change 2, it can obviously be used in every deck. It doesn't take a special thing. All it takes is you to have that one card in your extra deck. But I feel most decks run good light. Not even the fact that if you're gonna go off to say like, because there's Dark Law, which a lot of decks run Dark Monsters. I don't care who you are. If you're not running a Dark Monster and your main deck, whatever your Exceed summon, it could be a Dark Monster also. So.
Well, what decks do you think are really abusing?
No. See, Mass Change is not a deck that I think that. That's not a card I think decks are abusing. That's a personal card that I think personally should be used. I feel like it helps me out because if I'm going into some certain plays in certain decks, it might just help. Like if I use my let's say if I'm using a deck, I get my 101 arc, I get rid of the 2, I detach, boom, and then like later on in the game I detach your monster so it's safe. But now I just have a dead 101 arc on the field.
Yeah.
So then I can go, Mass Change 2, get rid of him, bring out Acid, blow up your whole backfield.
That makes sense.
So I feel like that helps sometimes too. And it also
so it's something that you see more potential with than the metagame actually does, and you think that it could be used more.
Yeah, that it should be used more. It can do some damage. You know, say most people have Dark Monster. You can go into Dark Law that hurts every deck. You can go into Koga, that's a really strong monster. Just to get that big beat down for attack point. So if you have 101 arc, you can go straight into Acid, get a play off of the. So it's a card that's like it's very controversial in my mind, but I feel like it has a strong enough argument within itself. My number 7 is Forbidden Lands.
I like Forbidden Lands. I played in my decks.
It's a great card. It's a really good card.
I tend to play like 2 copies.
I think the
and
reason
builds. I don't like to run 1 or 3.
Me and you probably really like this card because we used to play Shrink a lot. And then this card's like Land, so I feel like it's damn near stable, but I also have a little bit of personal preference with it. That's why it's higher up on the list, because I feel like it can get around a lot of important shit between battle and the spell cards. You can protect the monster, or you can get rid of a big monster. So I feel like it helps. It has a lot of potential in that card.
Okay.
So that's why I feel like it's also good. It's not the most popular card, but it's a good card. Book of Moon. Book of Moon, only reason why I put Book of Moon ahead of Forbidden Lands is because Book of Moon can do almost the same thing, save you and help from battle, and then it also stops some XYZ monsters. Once you flip it face down, they don't have their materials. They can't access them anymore. Right?
Yeah, I know.
So I feel like because it has everything Forbidden Lands does within an extra step.
I'm not crazy about Book of Moon, but I have moved back and forth, with Book of Moon, and I've liked Book of Moon. It's one of those things where it's like, for me, with Book of Moon, it's a very love-hate relationship, but I always go back and forth with it. Mm-hmm. So I know, to me, anytime I ever take Book of Moon out of something, it's never forever.
Dark Hole. It's a great card.
Okay, I would probably need more.
I got step in. I thought you were going to like.
I'm like, I need more of reasoning behind it. Dark Hole could also possibly in the future now go to 3 and go to unlimited. So I might need more.
I don't see it going to 3.
Okay.
I really do not see Dark World going to 3. The fact that it's at 2, I think, is a great place in the game.
It's a Dark World.
I know. Shut up.
I don't think Dark World should go to 3.
Dark World
already at 3.
Dark Hole is at 2, and I feel like that's the perfect spot for it. That is because in today's game, the graveyard is a little bit stronger than it's ever. The graveyard is actually stronger than it's ever been in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh. So sending cards to the graveyard isn't as hurtful.
Lycan Lord?
Click Clackety Soldier. Click Clackety Soldier tells me, that sending cards to the graveyard isn't as hurtful.
If you like my tap out shirt, you should like the video.
But at the same time, clearing the field is the most important thing in the game. If you clear the field for just a second, clear the field for just a second to get your attacks in, that's all you really need to do.
And if you ever take out 2 cards out of your opponent for one card, it's always a +1.
Wow. Raigeki.
I'm not even going to say anything. Raigeki is just amazing, and I feel like everyone should be playing it.
I feel the same way too, and then the same thing. It's just like Dark Hole, just one step above, because you ain't got to worry about having anything on your field to activate this card. Okay. And if you ever get rid of more than one card for this card, you're winning already. You're doing something great alone within itself. And now the fact that it's at 1, and it's one of those cards I feel like that Konami takes off the ban list and it gives it to us for just a little bit of time, for 6 months, and they take it back.
I feel like Raigeki is one of those cards that I honestly feel like is staying around for good. I feel like Raigeki might stay for good.
I feel like once they start touching Shadalls and Satella Knights and Burning Abyss, then that's gone. It's Kaiser Colosseum.
Fuck that. I hate that card.
I I think the
Why? Why? Why are you doing this?
honestly, because it's so strong.
In what deck?
It's not about what's popular.
Yes, it is.
It's like lose a turn. If you play this card, you control the game.
I know
and
that.
if somebody like you who likes to control the game and control the board, you don't like telling people not to play Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't like cards that stop people from playing. You don't like cards. I hate going up against the two cards that basically have the effect of like, yo, you can't play it. Like, you have something in your hand and you want to play it. That card's like, well, guess what? You can't play it. You're like, no! You can't stop it.
Listen, I'm not going to argue with you and say why I think Kaiser Colosseum doesn't belong here, because Kaiser Colosseum has showed in the past that it has been in Bujin's, many other decks that have stated why it is a very good card. However, my issue with you has nothing to do with why Kaiser Colosseum is not a good card. My issue comes to why is it the best of this format? Because previously, Kaiser Colosseum has been amazing in previous formats. But this format in particular, what would make it amazing this format is what I want from you.
I feel like Kaiser Colosseum...
Because Kaiser Colosseum is like a deck exclusive, because I feel like, in my opinion, not almost every deck could utilize that card perfectly.
Absolutely correct. You're 1,000% correct when it comes to not every deck can use this card. But I feel like if you're going up against a deck, I feel like it's a great deck that goes in rogue decks that can help rogue decks beat top tier decks. If you're going, let's say you have a deck and you're going against somebody who's faster than you want to, even though you slow yourself down, but let's say your basic monsters are stronger than their basic monsters, if you slow the game down to that type of pace, you're going to win the game in the long run. Okay. Instead of like, I'm going to slow me down because there's no point in me building up my field. Because me building up my field is not stronger than him building up his field. But I know my little monsters are stronger than his little monsters. So if I stop him from building up his field, my little monster beat his little monsters and I'm going to win in the long run. Okay. So I feel like that's how it helps out either way. For the metagame and for the rogue decks.
Okay, no problem.
Soul Charge.
Soul Charge is amazing. I wouldn't even begin to say anything bad about it. I feel like my opinion of Soul Charge is my opinion on fucking Raigeki. Almost everyone uses it.
You know what's funny?
What?
I used it, and then when this format came out, maybe for the past two formats, I've not been running it. I've been making decks, and I've been overlooking this card. I've been overlooking this card for the longest amount of time, and then I finally decided to bring it back. Because I'm like, yo, why can't Monster Reborn come back? I'm like, you know, there's a card that's just like it, just maybe just a tad bit better. That's on par with an argument on which card is better between the two.
I personally am happy with either one. Soul Charge is alright.
I feel Soul Charge might be better than Monster Reborn because it opens the door for so many plays.
It's true.
You can do so much more
but
with
I feel like,
but you can't win really with it.
But I agree with you 100% when it comes to Soul Charge, and I'll let that like completely like go. I'm like, alright, good.
You can do so much with it, but besides almost win the game with it outside of, you know, Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is banned, so there's no point arguing about Monster Reborn. But Soul Charge, bring back cards from your graveyard, bring back whatever you need, and then if not, you can bring back cards that go into even more plays between XYZ summons, synchro summons, effects, everything that you need. You got it.
And
right
the only
there.
backlash is you can't attack.
Yeah. And then a couple of life points. But, you know, life points are relevant. I don't like this card at all. Galaxy Cyclone is the best spell card of this format.
Now, you see, when you're walking around with it saying, like, the best card of this format, what makes this card outclass every other card that's on this list and other cards that you don't even have in this list? Like, I don't know, like Fire Formation Tanky, MST... Like all these.
Well, this is better than MST because you can use it twice, but MST can only use one.
I know, but
Fire
MST
Formation Tanky only works for
Upstart Goblin. But in my opinion, what makes like something like Galaxy Cyclone have the edge so much?
It does exactly what you need for this format.
Okay.
Stop these big ass floodgate trap cards.
Okay.
This format is full of floodgate trap cards and that stop people from playing the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the card that can not only pop one, but two of them.
Well, technically,
and not at the same time.
Galaxy Cyclone just doesn't have the chaining capabilities of MST, but Galaxy Cyclone does have the capability.
Serves the same purpose.
Galaxy Cyclone can destroy stuff like fields, spells, pendulum zones, I don't know, like Supply Squad, which is honestly a shame. I would have liked to see Supply Squad on here, but nobody plays it.
Yeah,
it
was in the argument for me to get to like maybe that number 10 spot, but I was just like,
I'm trying to think of other good spell cards. Like, Rhoda.
It's so hard.
Rhoda's good.
No, it's so hard to think of a good spell card that can be used in any deck. I tried to throw out archetype specifics. I feel like if you throw in an archetype specific, then you're not really tailoring to everybody. Because then you're basically saying
Where's El Shaddai Fusion?
yeah, exactly. But because outside of Mass Change 2, that was the only thing I could think of that kind of like
You don't run Shaddai Fusion.
yeah, because I feel like when you're not doing that, then I feel like then if you put in this archetype specific spell card, then you're saying, oh, well, this not really this spell card, it's just this deck. Because then it also involves the monster with El Shaddai Fusion. But with these spell cards that I've presented in this list, these are cards that can be used in any deck. I know this is not a really spell heavy format and everything, but these are cards that I feel like could be used in any deck and help you against the meta decks.
Well, actually, I'm going to state this now. I haven't made my top 10s for either the best cards of this format being spells or traps or monsters or anything along those lines.
Next time
So,
you'll be doing that, right?
so if you guys really like the idea of him doing it, and I'm more blunt, I'm very fucked up, and I'm like, archetype, boom. I'm the kind of person, if it's been abused more than anything out of a fucking hooker's ass, I'll fucking throw
Popularity contest.
Yeah, for me, it's popularity. So to me, if you'd want to see me do it, I'll do it. I'll be more than happy, because me and Spidey have two very different sides of opinions.
Just do one thing when you do all of that. Don't wear that shirt.
Don't wear that shirt.
Don't wear that shirt.
Please don't wear that shirt every time.
Don't wear that shirt. Please don't.
Do you shower?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
You know the floor gets slippery when it's wet, right? Right?
Bye.
Two previous videos, the winner of the free pack, if there was a winner, it's right here. And we upload every Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Saturdays and Sundays we do dual videos against subscribers. Tuesdays and Thursdays are joint
We're trying
videos.
to get 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so don't forget
I'm trying to
check
sell these crack.